as a pet photographer, you have probably been asked to do themed photo sessions, either for a client, you've wanted to do mini sessions as a theme, or for the rescues. But how do you pick out the props? How do you design this that it's safe and easy to do? So Monique here of Silver Paw Studio and founder of ProPetPhotog, and today we did a photo session for Animal Friends Alliance Shelter with dogs and cats in an 80s music theme. And so what we did is we started with a meeting. We did like a Zoom meeting with me and the creative people at the shelter and decided that it was going to be 80s and music, which they wanted, and bright colors.
You guys are going to be rock stars.
They are. We're doing like an 80s theme. We're doing like 80s music, Journey, Salt and Pepper.
So then from there, I said, these are all the color papers I have. What props could we bring in? And this is kind of the hardest part of doing a themed session. I'm always thinking of ways that I can put the props more around the animals than on the animals. Cats like to be in things, so I'll show you that. But sometimes the shelter dogs don't want to wear anything. We had one that wore more of a little bib type thing, and little maybe pearl necklace, but not really elaborate on the animals. And the kittens, I think, just wore little bracelets for necklaces. So what we want to find is things that they can either climb on, that aren't breakable, that are loose fitting, and have helpers everywhere so they don't fall on any of these. And so for the 80s session, we decided that I had a friend with this little disco ball. Isn't this fun? And most of the time, my assistant Frank was holding this on a ribbon. So that was hanging right around them. And then I found an old Rubik's Cube. One of the staff brought in his roller skates and just a boom box, an old 80s boom box. And these are all things we could place around them. Now we had 5-week-old kittens that we could put in the roller skates, which was really cute. And then what we decided to do was the purple paper for the dogs and the pink paper for the kitties. And we just switched it up. So these dogs would have roller skates near them, or these dogs would have the bracelets around them and the disco ball. And so we tried to incorporate all the different props with different sets of animals. So not the same ones and not too many. And so that's what I'm always looking for when I'm picking out props. How can I place this around them, or have something they can sit on or play with, or and also not breakable. So this sat only next to some of the little kittens for a moment. Otherwise, they couldn't get to it. And then the roller skates, we taped them down onto the paper, and we had helpers right there next to them. And so that's kind of what we think through on these, and then make sure we have lots of helpers. So it was myself and Frank and the foster. Every animal was brought in by a foster or one of the volunteers, and then I called him my creative director from the shelter. He was here to give all his input because he's going to use all these pictures for an upcoming fundraiser. So we wanted to make sure we had horizontal and vertical, that we had room to write words, that there was some extra space around for any kind of cropping he might want to do, and different expressions on the animals, looking this way, looking that way, so they could look up at words. So we just wanted to make sure we had a full variety of images too. And we love doing the solid paper because we can expand that easily in Photoshop or software. We can make the background go a little bit farther if we need to, if maybe I shot it vertical but they need it horizontal. So the solid color backdrops were really easy, and we just did really basic lighting. You know, a light on either side of me, one at half power of the other. And these are my Flashplan Explorer 600. So I just used 2 of those. I think they were on 16th power, and the main was on an 8th power with these bounce back umbrellas. And those are the only 2 lights I used. So really, really simple lighting setup. And then I was using my Sony A1 with the 24 to 70 mil lens. And we have all kinds of like little cat toys and squeaky toys, just like I'd have at any other session. But all of these things were safe to have around them, and they were colorful and on topic. And it takes a lot of thinking. I often at these will have a lot of props that I don't even use, either because the animals don't like them or they're too big or too small. There's a lot of props that are just too big or too small for dogs and cats. And that was the other challenge. How can we have this around a dog or a cat? So putting the disco ball on a stick that Frank could put in and out of the scene worked really well. We tried leg warmers on one dog, but they were way too big. People leg warmers always fall off dogs. But the bright colored necklaces and little plastic bracelets and little things like this, and the roller skates we can set in there, and the boom box, anything like that you can kind of set around them is great. The one other thing that would have been nice for the kitties is something for them besides the roller skates to sit in. So some kind of a basket or a box. It's so much easier to do groups of kittens when they're contained like that, and they really like it. So that is how we figured out the theme for this 80s music session. I hope you enjoy the final photos. Everybody lined up. Dogs the first hour, cats the second hour. And I'll get these edited for them today. Yeah, so that's how that went. I hope it helps you on your next theme photo shoot. Pick out all of your props. I will do a separate video on how I did the editing in Lightroom and Photoshop for these photos. So that'll be the next video. You want to make sure that you are subscribed and like this if you liked it. So that's how we chose the props for this theme, and everybody worked together. Super fun time. It took about 2 hours. We had everybody lined up. Dogs the first hour, cats the second hour, and I'll get these edited for them today. Yeah, so that's how that went. I hope it helps you on your next theme photo shoot. Pick out all of your props. All right, that's it for now. As always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATSs.